Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Athena and I'm with Outreach and Continuing Education at Western Washington University. I'm the administrator for ALL and we want to say welcome to you all today. I want to also say thank you to all of you for being members and for having your membership support for ALL. I want to thank our wonderful board of directors for everything they do and for their leadership. And I also want to give a big thank you to our board president, Russ Carlson. Russ not only gives great guidance to our board of directors, but also to me in my position, and I'm very grateful for that. And before I hand it over to Russ to begin, I want to tell you a little bit about Outreach and Continuing Education and what we do for the Academy for Lifelong Learning. So we give overall administrative and operational support for the program. We handle the marketing materials. We do the scheduling of the venues and any special events and arrangements for that. We also give support for the memberships and the registrations, and we give general member support as well. And we also handle financial affairs that include billing and budget documentation. So that's a little bit about Outreach and Continuing Ed for the Academy for Lifelong Learning. And now I'll hand it over to Russ. Thank you.
Thank you, Athena. And before I get started, I want to say a special thanks to you. This is your 1-year anniversary. You've done an incredible job. Not only have you learned all about ALL and the intricacies of putting the program together and coordinating that, also especially during this time of COVID, it's been doubly challenging. So we just really want you to know how much we appreciate you and what a great job you've done. And also a shout out to Mary, Jenny, and the team. They're just really a special group, and we see you off there, back to the picture. We see you in the red on the left, and way in the back in the top is Anthony Shull, who we want to thank also. He's the senior director. And then if you move down to the left, you'll see Robert Squires is kind of like just a little left of center with a big smile on his face. He's the vice provost, and Robert and Anthony have made it possible to provide support to you, Athena, and the team and AOL to get through this last year especially. So we just really want to thank them for their service and their support, and we just couldn't thank them enough. So thank you for that. Let's move on to the agenda, folks, and I guess I'll start by saying that I am Russ Carlson, the chair of the board, and on behalf of the board, we want to formally welcome you and start the annual membership meeting. And it's, of course, virtual, second time in a row. Last year, we needed to do it as well. It's good to be with you all, and thank you for joining us. It goes without saying, we all wish we were together in the dome room so we could share some lunch and stories and do the annual reunion. But here we are, and we're very, very grateful that you all are here with us. And we're going to, on the agenda, do a few more recognitions, which is my favorite part of the job. We'll talk about the state of the Academy. We'll get some presentations from representatives of the committees and interest groups. Then we'll talk about the voting, and Donna Moore, our secretary, will walk us through that, and then there'll be some closing comments. So first of all, recognitions. Here's our board of directors, and we really, they're just an outstanding group of members and contributors to AOL. It's a privilege, it's my privilege to work with these folks. You see their names, they're all wearing numerous hats. They're involved in various committees. Some of them are instructors as well. It's just an amazing group of people. This is your board of directors. And I just couldn't be proud enough to serve with them and thank them for their support and their enormous contributions to the program. We also want to recognize 2 outgoing board members. A lot of us know, most of us know both of these faces. Tim Surratt, who has also taught some courses on IT. He continues to be support for us with Zoom support, and has just been a wonderful and generous contributor to the program, to the board. And he's a super participant. Kay, again, we all know her. She's had to move down to family in California, and we dearly miss them both. And Kay, who was on Curcom on the board, was an instructor. Again, just super contributors, super participants, and super people. So we wish them both well and thank them for their service on the board of directors. We also want to give a big shout out to the Curcom committee. Adam Moles is the chair. You see the members here: June Hopkins, who's also instructor, Lori Jump, Kathy Kuba, Jane Renlin, Susan Rhodes, Marilyn Shear, and Mishu. Our Mishu, of course, she'll be talking later about the Curcom committee. And this is the workhorse, I think, of the program. They're the ones that recruit instructors, coordinate all the preparation and the agenda with Athena and her team. And as you know, we've done video presentations for the first time because we're unable to have the in-person spring programs up until now. And we really can't say enough on the work that they do. So thank you to those folks. And Monica will be talking a little more about the Excursion Committee with Jan Cottrell and Jeff Eastman, who will be coming on the board, have been working on getting us back in the field next year. So we'll hear a little more in a bit from Monica. And then the interest group facilitators, we have Mishu and on Contemporary Readings, World Affairs, and June Hopkins has stepped in for coordinating the history program, history discussion groups this year. And this was an invention of Mishu, and she has worked tirelessly to not only build the program, but also on coordinating it. And it's been just a real success. And again, a benefit of being a member of AOL. And AOL is just very proud to have this part of our program enhanced by Mishu and her team. And just generally, thank you to all the volunteers and the members who help us in a variety of ways, whose names we may not have mentioned today, but they show up in the classroom, they show up in a variety of ways and help keep our program vital. So we just, big shout out and thank you to all the folks that help us in one way or the other throughout the year. Now a brief comment, presentation on the state of the Academy. This is a business meeting that's required by our bylaws, and we'll start with our mission statement. And I do read this occasionally because it reminds us of our mission and everything we do on the board of directors and on through the committee level, keep the spirit of this mission statement in mind. We're inspired, all of us, by the belief that a curious mind never retires, that the Academy of Lifelong Learning, ALL, is a volunteer-led community providing a variety of educational and cultural programs in a pressure-free environment. And not only do we appreciate that, but the instructors have oftentimes came back with our comments saying they appreciate the pressure-free environment as well. No tests, they love it. And they can talk more about what they're interested in and weave it into their program. So we're very proud of that, that whole cultural environment that we've created and work hard on maintaining. For this academic year, we have a total of 26 in the fall winter and 20 in the spring summer program. This is an amazing accomplishment considering that everything was virtual this year. We are just enormously thankful for our instructors and our staff and the board members who have helped put this together to make sure that AOL was able to provide and contribute to the quality of life of our members and the community at large during this past difficult year. We'll just put it that way, and we're just really very happy with the amount of product that we've nevertheless been able to offer. You can see that the last two terms, 905, 817, represent the academic year, fall, winter, and then spring this year. The unique registrations has gone down, which we anticipated, and we're hoping that we'll get right back up into the 1,600 range next fall and spring. But we're still very, very pleased that people were able to get on Zoom and be with us virtually. Some people are uncomfortable with it, and we understand that, but nevertheless, there was a tremendous feedback on how much it was appreciated during this past year, and we enjoyed it as well. And the financials, we did not need to tap into our $40,000 reserve, a rainy day reserve. We are perfectly prepared to. That's what the reserve is there for. If you look down, you'll see that this is not the end of the final financial. It won't be available for another month because the fiscal year ends June 30th, and we're not there yet. But we project that there will be no break even. And the reason is, even though we've had some reduced costs to the program, excuse me, for the cost of the courses, we've also had reduced costs because of we didn't have to rent space and we didn't need to buy some other ancillary services. So amazingly, and to the credit of our incredible staff and members and board members and committee members, we were able to break even this year. And then we're looking forward to returning to a very successful next term. So the 40 at the bottom, you see that 48, the 40 of that is reserves. So that's a fund balance. It's a financial thing, as most of you who've been in business, and most of our members have one way or the other, understand, but that's why that number is large. But it's basically a break-even year for us, and we're very proud of that accomplishment, and thank you all for contributing to that success. We have 142 members this academic year. It's down by about 100. Many people weren't able to, for one reason or another, or chose not to buy a membership. But just a reminder, we've kept the fee at the same, $49. But the advantage to a membership is that you get a card that says you're a member. You get 20% discounts on the courses, access to the WWU library. You have student rates for Western events. You have access to the discussion groups, and what you'll hear about are talks, 10% discount at Village Books, use of the rec center and other facilities at student rates. So there are not only advantages to becoming a member, but it's also very helpful to the program to participate in that way. So thank you for those who are current members, and those of you who may be tuning in, we'd ask you to jump on board for the next annual academic year. So we're really happy to have you all with us, and appreciate those that have actually become members again. So the next portion of our program will be presentations by several representatives of the interest groups and committee members. And we're going to start with the Curriculum Committee, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Anakita if she would do a presentation regarding the Curriculum Committee. So Mishu, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Russ. As you all know, we have weathered a very challenging year in this pandemic, and we have created an entire program via Zoom in an effort to stay connected with one another. Certainly, ALL has been excited to take advantage of having instructors Zoom in from other parts of Washington, from California, Philadelphia, New York City, Nairobi. But we are especially gratified by our local instructors who have learned how to teach online so quickly. And part of that is due to the work of our Zoom coaches. And we thank Mike, Valerie, Shelley, Tim, and Bill, who worked with instructors, our facilitators, and our students. As we wrapped up our academic year, we also bid a fond farewell to Kay, who has served for many years on Curcom and has been an instructor for us, and we wish her well. Looking forward, we are very, very pleased to return to in-person courses in the fall and winter, starting in September at the cruise terminal. At the same time, we will still offer some courses online via Zoom as we continue to broaden our horizons. Regarding our interest groups, It has been an eventful year for all three of our interest groups, which are complementary and a benefit to us as ALL members. The Contemporary Readings Discussion Group read a wide array of timely books, and our members rotated as facilitators of lively discussions. Through the summer, we will continue online via Zoom with fiction books as a change of pace. Our history discussion group has had the benefit of being facilitated by June Hopkins, one of our instructors, and she has provided a year-long focus on US history, which is her specialty. The World Affairs group took advantage of the silver lining of Zoom, and we had guest speakers come in to us for conversations from Missouri, Minnesota, Nairobi, England, Russia, New Zealand, Canada, and most recently, Germany. We will make a decision through the summer about whether we will be in person or on Zoom for the coming academic year. Currently, Curcom is looking for volunteers to serve on the curriculum committee. We aspire to provide a quality program for ALL, and in that venture, we are seeking fresh ideas, new prospects. We want to be energized by new perspectives as we attempt to broaden the array of courses that we offer to ALL as a learning community. On behalf of the curriculum committee, we want to thank you very much for your continued support of ALL. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you, Ms. Yu. You want to talk a little bit about the interest groups now for us?
I did.
Anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so. They've been very well attended on Zoom, and because we interface with international guest speakers, we may very well continue on Zoom. We'll have to make that decision as a group. Thank you.
Yes, that was, Ms. Yu, just thank you. It's just amazing what you've done with this forum and how it's grown over the years. We also we're pretty amazed at how we've been able to bring in people from internationally, actually, and nationally as a result of this Zoom. So we've learned a lot about this, and I just the board just really appreciates you, and thank you again. So let's turn it over to Monica on the Excursion Committee update. Monica.
Yes, well, the Excursion Committee has been on hiatus during the pandemic, but we have been busy contacting some of our favorite venues and some new ones to see what their plans are for reopening to the public. Right now, we don't have any plans to have any excursions in the fall, but we do plan on laying the groundwork for some excursions in the spring, just in case we get the go-ahead to have trips in the spring again. I want to thank my committee members, Jen and Jeff, for giving some ideas. We're going to get together and plan all of these things once we get results from some of these places that we've been contacting. And once we get the go-ahead from Western, I think we'll probably have to offer a limited number of excursions to a limited number of vaccinated people. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll keep you posted on that. Maybe in the spring, if everything goes well, we can offer an outdoor excursion to, say, Kubota Gardens or some other outdoor excursion just to see how things go. And maybe by this time next fall, we can have a regular schedule up again. But anyway, that's the program for now.
Thank you, Monica.
Back to you, Russ.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate everything you all have done, and we can't wait to get in the field again. I'm going to turn it over to Jim West now. This was Jim, I think, when he was inventing the program, and now we would like to hear from Jim about what we're calling the AOL Talks. Jim?
Thank you, Russ. Hello, everybody. Just so there is no confusion, the man in the picture is not me. He lacks distinguished white hair. I am the coordinator for ALL Talks, which is an exciting new program which will begin this fall. ALL Talks is an outcome of the survey we conducted earlier this year. The survey responses showed us that there was a strong desire for more variety in programming, variety in topics, in times, and in tones. Using that input, here's the plan we've come up with for ALL Talks. ALL Talks will be free, offered as one of the benefits of annual membership. The talks will be offered by Zoom for the foreseeable future. The presentations will be monthly, September through May, so we will have 9 per year. Talks will be presented on the 3rd Friday of each month. Friday, because it represents the winding down of the week and easing into the weekend. Do you remember how we all look forward to TGIF? The presentations will begin at noon and typically last 60 minutes. However, we are willing to adjust the time to fit the topic. We will not require people to force their topic into a strict 60-minute time limit. Talks will generally be a single session topic, or as we like to say, one and done. Just over a month ago, we sent an email to the entire ALL family asking for suggestions for topics and presenters for the ALL Talk series. The topics that could be proposed also required that you provide us with a suggestion for a presenter. Often it is more difficult to find a qualified presenter than it is to find an interesting topic. The response was very encouraging. We now have a catalog or library of over a dozen topics to choose from. The ALL committee is evaluating the submittals and a schedule will be set very soon. In late August, an email announcement for ALL Talks will be sent to everyone in the ALL family. People who are interested in attending one of the presentations will register so they can receive a Zoom link. We will also put information for the ALL Talks on our website. The first ALL Talk is scheduled for noon on Friday, September 17th. We're very excited about this new program and we look forward to seeing you there in September. Russ, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. We're now going to turn it over to Donna Moore, our secretary and keeper of the keys, and Donna will take it from there. Donna?
Yes, I do not see my slide. At any rate, the nominations committee is very pleased to present to you 3 candidates for the 3 open positions on the board. I have seen their full biographies earlier, but let me introduce very quickly the 3 of them. On the left is Margaret, who is better known as Peggy. She has been very active on the board for the Retirement Association from Western. She served as president at least twice, and she also has organized overseas trips. In the middle is Jeff. He is on the Excursion Committee and has been for some time, working with Monica in organizing excursions. And Mishu you have already seen, and Mishu is totally critical to the operation of ALL. She has been so active with the curriculum committee, organizing the discussion groups, a wonderful, wonderful person. We have not received any nominations from basically the floor, that is write-in nominations. So these will be the 3 candidates that you will find on the survey. The survey immediately follows the presentation of this annual meeting. So vote, vote, vote. Thank you, and back to you, Russ. Okay, we also get to vote on bylaws. There are 2 changes. The first one is in section 1.1, and the new wording explains very explicitly that ALL is a self-governing organization governed by the board of directors, and then it's subject to the policies and regulations of Western. So what it does is to clarify that relationship between ALL and Western. The second change is in section 1.2. It will be eliminated because it is just redundant. And again, immediately after this meeting, please vote on the bylaw changes. Okay, in the survey, here's the note. Finish, please, by July 9th, but you might as well do it today after you have finished observing this presentation. Thank you. Back to you, Russ.
Donna, thank you so much for all that you do and for everybody, to everybody for the hard work in this past academic year. This concludes the 2021 annual meeting. On behalf of the board, thank you for joining us today. ALL would not exist without our valued volunteers and the many members that have also participated or contributed in other ways. So thank you. We wish everyone a safe and happy summer, and we look forward to seeing you in class next term. So from all of us to all of you, bye for now.